Hello, figments of my imagination. So the Bazaar patch 5.1 just dropped, and I haven't read the notes yet, so I thought I would go over them and see my thoughts on them. But first, I'm going to start with like a little wish list of mine for what I think should be nerfed and buffed. Not really any buffs, I don't think. If you want to skip that, go ahead and jump to the time code on the screen now. But without further ado, let's get into it. So first up, Vanessa. I don't know about her. I haven't tried her in the new patch. I haven't tried anyone on the new patch, honestly, except Stelle. So I only see opponents. But I think possibly a slight nerf to wetware. It seems to charge a little fast early game in the weapon spam builds. I'd like to see that toned down a little bit, but if they do nothing to her, that's fine too. They might even buff something. I don't know. Dooley, played a lot of him last season, obviously. I don't agree with a lot of his changes, but I haven't played him enough to speak on them, so I'll ignore that. But I will say a few things. One, launcher core. I said it during preview season, and I still think it's true. For some reason, it charges all flying items, including itself. It also charges when you use any flying item, also including itself. So at Diamond, when it's flying, it basically has a 3-second cooldown base, and that's way too easy to go infinite with. So that needs to go. Probably both aspects of it. They could change one. I don't know, but that definitely needs to be nerfed. The other thing is pulse rifle. In the 5.0 patch, they made it lower cooldown with each level, so it goes down to 3 seconds at Diamond, and that's crazy. They need to probably maybe fully revert it, or at least make it end up at like 4 seconds. 3 seconds is way too fast. And of course, the worst nerf that Dooley took needs to be reverted, and that's SMG. They changed the name of Uzi to SMG, and that's just wrong. They need to change it back. Really, SMG? Give me back my Uzi. It's an Uzi. It's clearly an Uzi. Can't believe they did that to my boy. Moving on. Mac, I think he's in a pretty bad spot, honestly. The only thing I've really seen is his potion build. It feels a little slower, so that's nice, but it still hurts a lot. So I don't think they need to buff or nerf that. That's probably fine. I will say there's one thing they should fix on him, which is that when they changed the invulnerability potion to be bronze, they didn't change the enchants on it. And I had the unique pleasure of facing a Mac on day one that had an obsidian enchanted invulnerability potion that does 200 damage. It also triggers when he hits half health and does the 200 damage. So not exactly a fun experience, but tempo and enchantments name a more iconic duo. So I would look into that. But other than that, I don't know what else to do about him. All he's got are the incredibly broken and toxic infinite builds, no pun intended. And the potion build is probably okay, maybe a little too strong, maybe a little too weak. I don't know. And Pig, this big dumb idiot. I think his income really needs to be toned down. I get that he's supposed to be like the late game hero, which I don't think that should even really be a thing for games like this, but that's fine. The amount of income he can generate is crazy. I personally faced one on day 5 that had over 30 income. I think it was like 37. And like I don't even understand how that's possible. Just every day you just get 37 gold. You can keep his late game insane. That's fine if that's what they really want to do. But I think cards they added that play into a strong mid game are just way too overtuned. Dog is a big offender. They really need to start that at silver. It's too easy to get it at bronze, stack it up, upgrade it a few times, and then suddenly you've got a 3-second, 300 damage medium item with multicast. That's not even close to balanced. Laser security system, that thing is also a massive mistake. Giving a small item to scale off of property damage in a very, very quick manner. I don't know how that really made it in. Maybe they can half the value it gains from property. And the last thing is more of a complaint about how cooldown increasing things work with cooldown reduction. And I think like lethargy and bonk, things like that, skills that increase the cooldowns, they should also increase the minimum possible cooldown, because I had a match against Pig and he had diamond lethargy, so 3-second increased cooldown. I had gold lethargy, 2-second increased cooldown, so everything should have been increased by 5 seconds. But we get into the game and his billboard is still a 1-second cooldown. So a little absurd. I mean, obviously Billboard is already a crazy card the way it works, but yeah, I just think maybe that's a little much. I mean, I feel like that really hinders the whole counterplay aspect of these skills. Why would you pick Lethargy if people can just reduce the cooldowns below what they were anyways? So that's pretty much it for Pig. Let's get into the main attraction of this patch though, Stelle. Obviously this is going to be the big one of the patch. Everyone's been complaining about how broken she is. She's very broken. The biggest thing to me that needs to be hit is the shiny spam. I don't know how they're going to get rid of it. I think they should just kill the orbital polisher entirely, but I'll get to that in a second. The second thing that needs to be hit is the mandala trick. For anyone who doesn't know, Stelle only has gold large items. So if you get any large item, bronze from Curio is a common one, and you go to Mandala, you can transform it, and now you have a gold large item, typically on day 4 or 5, which is just crazy broken. Basically guarantees you're going to win the next 2 or 3 days unless you miss. Looking at you, Space Laser. But typically that's going to lead to a very easy win. And at the worst case, you're probably up a bunch of gold too. To prevent that, they could make Mandala start later, but I don't really like that. I like, especially for Mac, I mean, the poor guy's suffered enough. Keep it the same. Day 4 starts fine. But what they should do is make 2 or 3 of the large items silver. Prevent the whole trick from working, and also let Stelle access some of her build rounds earlier. I don't know which ones to make silver particularly. Maybe the slow deck, like the lightning rod, weather machine, those could be made silver. For now, let's just cover the items. First one, orbital polisher. Like I said, the shiny spam needs to go. I think the whole item's just a mistake. I think you just get rid of it, honestly. If you have to keep it around, I think a more healthy version would start at silver and probably make it unlock after like 12 encounters. Normally that means you'd have to hold it for 6 whole days. Maybe you could get it a little earlier if you pick monster encounters or mountain pass. And I think that's like a real cost to having a shiny item. There's just 6 whole days of this occupying an item slot. You could make it 10 encounters maybe, if you make it silver tier, so 5 days to get it. But currently you have to force the stop start deck to charge it. And you can use weak fights to charge it really quickly. Like if you have a free fall, pogo stick, paper airplane, you could charge this thing in 2 fights. You know, you just do it against an NPC fight, so there's no real threats. And it's very easy. I've had games where Toolbox spits out like 4 of these things in my inventory and I can use them all. So yeah, that needs to be hit. I also think that moving it to silver will help stop it from getting in Bronze Toolbox. For anyone who doesn't know, Bronze Toolbox there's only 9 tools. Actually, I think it's 8. I'm checking right now. Oh my god, it's even worse than I thought. There's only 6 tools that are bronze for Stelle. So currently you have a 1 in 6 chance of that Bronze Toolbox hitting Orbital Polisher every turn. Which that's crazy. I had a game where I just abused that, and I had 4 orbital polishers by the end of the game. I had no idea what to do with them. I mean, you still have to upgrade them, but it's not that big of a deal. So I think that needs to go. Honestly, just nuke the item from orbit, get it out of the game. But I don't think they're going to do that. Second, and nearly as egregious, is Hammer. This one I think is a really simple nerf. Just don't let it have the shiny enchantment. I'm afraid they're going to not let it have any enchantments. I mean, I like that currently you can use Hammer to store enchantments. I think that's pretty cool. But I don't think that letting it get shiny and then upgrading an item is good. I don't think that's good. But I do think, like, you know, if maybe you haven't found something yet, you hit level 10 and you get obsidian, you throw obsidian on the hammer and you wait till you get a good item and now you have an obsidian item. You know, I think that's fair. I could also see them bumping the quest requirements to 10 tools instead of 8, just to make it a little harder to activate. Or they could bump the rarity to gold. I don't think they should do that, though. I think still having cheap upgrades or easier to get upgrades is kind of like it almost feels like our identity. I could see them doing any of those. What I hope they do is I hope they just remove shiny from it and bump it to 10 tools, keep it at silver, let it still be enchanted, but I'm afraid they're not going to do that. And Wrecking Ball, the first egregious like actual item. This thing's just broken. It's definitely helped by the whole shiny hammer trick, but even without that, it's very easy to force it. You can use Radar Dome to give it multicast, and Freefall Simulator, Pogo Stick, Nicola, there's all sorts of ways to charge it. I think they have to hit a combination of the cooldown, the charge amount, and the damage. They could hit all 3, but I think that's kind of overkill. My guess would be they take the cooldown to 25 seconds, and they take the damage to 25 and 35% instead of 30 and 40. I think that still leaves it like a strong item, but it needs a little more to go off. It doesn't necessarily kill when it goes off the first time. So you have to either be lucky with the destroy or be able to trigger it again really quickly. And that makes it a little worse. So yeah, that's my hope on that one. Hang glider. This is another egregious one in my mind. Very, very strong. It fits into way too many of Stelle's decks. I just think that they should nerf the damage a little. Like I think like minus 25 per level. I think it's 150 at gold, 300 at diamond. So take it to 125, 250. Jeez, is it really 150 with 300? That's really high. I could probably take it all the way down to 100, 200. I think that's an ideal one. I mean, 100 damage anytime something stops flying is still a lot of damage, especially on an item that can scale itself. But yeah, that's what I would do there. What else? Parachute. I've seen Reddit complain a lot about this one, but I think it's actually really weak. Like, well, it's not weak. Weak's the wrong word. It's good for the first like 5-6 days maybe. And it still has its weaknesses. Like, it's like a bad version of Regen Mac. Yeah, maybe that's something Stelle shouldn't have. So I can see hitting it. I think if you are going to hit it, the key is hitting the early game. So I think it's 10, 20, 30 now on the regen. I think it should probably be like 8, 16, 24. Like, I think that's fine. Because it's not like upgrading it really matters. You could literally leave it on silver and you're still gonna win the first few days with it, as long as you have enough flying triggers. And the last thing is it's not really a card, it's more of, well, I guess it is 2 cards. It's Lightning Rod and Weather Machine. I think they need to buff the Slow Matters deck a little bit. Currently, it's nowhere near the other decks. They should have more incentive to go that deck. I think a thing to consider might be taking Lightning Rod and making it ramp up its own damage. It is a large item, like it's literally just a large version of Proboscis at this point. It has a little bit of bonus, right? Like your things effectively can't be slowed by your opponent. You can still slow your own stuff, which I think that's stupid. Just let it eat all the slows, let it eat your own slows, let it eat your own freezes, all of that. But I think if they did it, they could have it scale, like start at 1 damage, and every time a slow triggers or a freeze, you increase it by 1 damage, just during combat, not permanently. And at Diamond, you can do it by 2. The base item would still benefit from pumping, which is obviously the key way that you get these things up. Either using like Curio type pumps, or you can use like a gyroscope and make it fly or something like that. But this way it has some scaling. So the other thing is Weather Machine. I do like it, but it's a large item, and a large item that starts at gold, I feel like it should be a little bit stronger. And I think they should make it give it a little unique strength by making it have an anti-flying mechanic. I think it could either be tied to the first mechanic that makes your things fly. It could make 2 enemy items or 4 enemy items stop flying, depending on rank. Or it could just do the same target that it freezes, like, because it freezes 1 item per board, so it could freeze an item on your opponent's board, but make it lose flying first. So the freeze is full duration, and the thing's not flying anymore, so it can disrupt your opponent very well. I think it makes sense thematically. It also helps improve the potency of the deck, because flying reduces slow duration, so it's already a natural counter to you. I also think that the freeze should probably scale in numbers, not duration, so it should freeze 2 items at Diamond. That would be a problem if they make it start at Silver, because I think freezing 3 items at Diamond is way too much, and 2 items at Gold is still probably too much. They could cut the duration though, or I think in the past they've had a few items that are like 1 at Silver, 1 at Gold, and then upgrade to 2 at Diamond, and that's what I'd pick if they were going to do that. I don't actually think they're going to help the slow deck at all, not in this patch anyways, but I would be pleasantly surprised if they did. They could at least lower the rarity on both of them. That would go a long way. Yeah, so with that out of the way, let's get to the patch notes. For those joining us, welcome back, and it's time to look at them. All right, patch 5.1, August 19th. Okay, general changes. Well, right off the bat, we already got one of the changes I wanted. It's not a change I wanted, I knew it was coming, basically. Endala now spawns on day 6 instead of day 4. This is obviously a response to Stelle. This makes me think that they didn't actually change any of the Stelle large items. Transforming a bronze item into a gold, a large bronze item into a large gold on day 4 guaranteed was just way too good. So that obviously had to go, but I wish they just changed her items and made Mandala stay on 4, because it's a cool event. I like it. It's fun. Yeah, so kind of sad about that, but I get it. Vanessa, Butterfly Sword's not properly as, so that's bug fix. Incendiary Rounds, bug fix. So it's showing up at the ammo merchant probably. That's funny. Rowboat, tooltip issue, stealth glider, remove damage reduction at the source of damage reduction. Oh, that sucks. Well, I'm glad that's fixed. Stelle. Oh, we're starting Stelle. Okay. Flare gun, fixed an item. You know, that's funny because I literally had a run with flare gun where I had set up my board such that I had 1 vehicle after my ornithopter gave another thing flying, another vehicle. I'm watching the fight, the flare gun goes off, and nothing gains flying. So I think that's probably what happened there. Very awkward. I think I ended up winning that anyways, but it's really annoying. Pressure heater fixed an issue where the obsidian version would damage. So wait, it would just kill you? Wow, really? Just kill yourself with pressure heater? That's pretty, dang. Balloon engine, oh. Balloon engine buff, cooldown to 4 seconds? Okay, that's interesting. Burn to, oh, okay, nerf. Burn to 2, 4, 6, 8, okay. See, burn engine was already, I was already down on it, but I did play a game recently where it was pretty good. You need a lot of work to make it good, but it did get pretty crazy. Overall, I think this nerf really does hurt, but the key to balloon engine is to get things to buff the fire anyways. Get delivery drone, get some cinders going, pump that thing up, get some skills to buff burn. That's how you're gonna do the work. You're not relying on the base numbers. The cooldown to 4 helps though in the early game. That's another flying item that gives a really quick flying trigger. Birdcage fiction issue word triggered off. You know what? I was almost certain that this happened too. I played someone and they had literally just the birdcage as their only way of stopping things from flying. And they were gaining an obscene amount of armor because I'm sitting over there with a pogo stick and a free fall going nuts. And I'm like, how are they gaining more armor than me? It doesn't make sense. I calculated it out. It's like the birdcage should have gained them like 1,000, maybe 2,000 armor the whole game. It gained him like 20,000 armor. So I'm glad that's fixed. Gravinator tooltip updated to say it destroys enemy items. Wait, it destroys. I thought this killed your own shit. Wasn't that the whole point of the item? Is you had like a big keg and then the gravinator would kill your keg. Or your, not a big keg, the big one, the thing that when it's destroyed, your opponent takes 40% of their health or something. You're supposed to grab that and then destroy it again. I thought that was the point. It destroys enemy items? I'm gonna have to see that and check that in game. Hang glider. Oh, this is one of the ones I called for. Cooldown to 5, 4. Okay, so they hit the cooldown. I didn't expect that, but damage to 100, 200. Alright, so I was right on the damage, sort of. I thought it was already at 150, 300, but I said it needs to go down to 100, 200, so that's good. I think the item's still really strong. Cooldown nerf was kind of unexpected, but I can see it. Hangar, just an implementation of Shiny, which was bugged to give 3-second CDR. Okay, interesting. I never used a Shiny Hanger. I'm hoping they actually fix Shiny, so this isn't an issue, but private runabout starts at silver. Oh, okay, so they did move a large item to silver. Damage to 50, 100, 150. Big damage hit there. Ooh, especially as a multicast item, that's basically double dipping. It still is probably really strong, especially because you can get early. Yeah, that does hurt though. Lightning Butterfly, really? Change to your flying weapons gain. Oh, so they nerfed it by 5. That's not the end of the world. I mean, it's pretty strong, and honestly, you're fine with it on silver, so that's not the end of the world. Observatory starts at silver. Okay, so that they knocked that down to silver too? That seems weird. Use a flying item, charge this 1, 2, 3 seconds. Was 2, 3. So does the charge it gives change too? It's not written here, but previously it was Observatory is the one 6 seconds, charge an item 2 seconds, at diamond charge an item 3 seconds. So now at silver, is it charge an item 1 second? Because if so, that's awful. Or did they keep it, is it 2, 2, 3? Or is it just 2, 2, 2 now? I mean, there's no patch note here, so we don't know. I guess I'll just have to see in game. Or when Bazaar database updates, actually. Be easier way to see it. Parachute. I knew they were going to change it. What did they do? This gains 10, 15, 20. That's the wrong way to nerf it. The problem is that silver is when it's strong. You're not really upgrading it, or at least you shouldn't have been. And now you're definitely not. The difference between 10 and 15 isn't that big. I mean, the cooldown goes down, which is fine, but by then you typically want to get rid of it and move on to real decks. Either way, they should make a bunch of Reddit people happy because everyone seems to hate that card. Wrecking Ball, here we go. What all did we change? Cooldown to 22 seconds. Okay, I said 25, but 22, so I charged to 4, was 5, ooh, and the damage, alright. Triple dipping was probably a mistake, but gotta do what you gotta do. Tooltip update to say it destroys enemy items. Yeah, make that obvious. Well, I don't think it's dead, honestly. I think the damage nerf was a little harsh. Should have been 25, 35. At 30, if you can give it multicast, it's only 60. They're still very much alive. I mean, if this is your only source of damage, you now have to hit them 4 times with it. Whereas 35, you had to hit them 3 times, which I think is better. Although, to be fair, since it destroys items at a certain point, they just run out of stuff. And unless you're like poisoned or burned, you'll just kill them. I don't know. It's interesting to see. Still hoping they did something about Shiny, because otherwise, who cares? Shiny Wrecking Ball is still going to be king. Nicola. Charge mount changed to 1, 2, 3 from 2, 3, 4. Alright, well, this item's dead. Like, really? Why would you play this? I mean, it had ammo, which is already like a hindrance for items like this, but and with the Wrecking Ball, which is I assume that's the thing you want to charge the most, Wrecking Ball or the free fall to charge it, something like that. Now I don't see playing this without a very niche scenario. It's like a really bad battery now. Because like there's still a downside to charges, and then it slows them too. So Hammer no longer passes on enchantments on cell, so it could still be enchanted. That seems dumb. Starts at gold. Ooh. Alright, well I did say that they might do that. I also said they'd probably hit all the enchantments, unfortunately. I really wish they only hit shiny, but what are you going to do? Overall, it's still just a good change. Drafting table no longer passes on enchantments on salt. Did it do that? I thought I had a heavy drafting table. I don't think it did that. I assume they mean on upgrade. Like on the, because this upgrades your items at the beginning of every turn. I don't think it actually passed enchantments on. Weird. Sky Anchor starts at silver. That's good. That's really good, actually. Sky Anchor is like a big boy version of Hamlet. And I've played it once or twice, and it was good. I replaced it, though, because it feels like more of an early game item, so it's good to see it start at silver. That means you can have a payoff for the slow deck way earlier. You can pick this up on even day 2 or 3, Get a flashbang, and you get a fire hose, and got a real deck, Pressure heater starts at silver. Oh, that's good, too. Because I remember I saw this thing, and I'm like, really? Why do I only ever see this item as gold? Turns out it starts at gold, which is just not good. Jason Burn items gain 369, was 510. Yeah, that's better. That's a huge buff, honestly. Getting items to diamond is pretty rare, and this is not an item you want to be diamond. So you'll get it early, buff your balloon machine or something with it, and Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that really makes the balloon machine nerf not hurt as bad anymore because you can get this early too, and one pump, boom, we're unnerfed, buddy. Weather machine starts at silver. Okay, good. I kind of wanted that. I'd prefer lightning rod starts at silver, the payoff, because it doesn't do you much if you buy a weather machine, you don't have any payoff. 2, 3, 4 items start flying. Okay. Freeze an item for 1, 2, 3. I really want this to be more targets, but I guess I get it. Slow all items for 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that makes sense. Wrench no longer passes on edge. Enchantments on sell. Yeah, I get that. I didn't even think you could enchant wrench. Could you? I thought I tried to give it shiny, but maybe I just messed that up. Anyways, it doesn't work anymore. I assume they mean upgrade. Dooley. Scaling. Brick Buddy scaling changed to 10, 15, 20, 40. So they just made the base start higher. I think that's what it used to be anyways. So it's not that big of a deal. You're never getting a diamond Brick Buddy or you're doing something weird. Chlorance. Scaling changed to 10, 15, 20, 40. Nice little early game buffs on these two. Charging station starts at gold tier. Yeah, this makes sense. I got a silver one when I was playing Stelle from Pearl. And I was like, why is this on silver? Charges 1, 2. Yeah, so it's back to what it used to be. No longer reduces core cooldown. Yeah, I saw that too. And I was like, permanently releases core cooldown. What are you guys smoking? Glad that's undone. Cooling fin, fixed an issue. Okay. Green wasp starts at silver. It's the poison one, right? 765. Okay. Did they change the numbers? Did they have the old silver number? Which I think was 6. Who knows? Barely used anyways. Launcher core, charge your other flying items 1 second. Okay. Good. I specifically mentioned this one because launcher core charging itself seemed a little broken. So glad they undid that at least. I still think the other parts should probably go, but it does go to 5 seconds rather than 4, so I guess that makes sense. Monitor lizard starts at silver. Poison scaling 369 was 510. This was they turned monitor lizard into a gold item. 5-4 3-second cooldown was 5-4. Okay. Pulse rifle damage to 10 was 20. Remove tech tag. That seems like a bad idea because now you can use. I don't know. I guess that's a good idea because the new crude tools reduces all your tech items by 1 second. So you could, yeah. So that's probably a good thing. I still think that hit the cooldown though, because 3 seconds on diamond is insane for an item that shoots 3 times. That's just crazy. Pyrocarbon, enchantment rework. Oh, we just got rid of some weird enchantments there. That's fine. Red Firefly starts at silver. So they're undoing the bug nerfs that they did a while ago. That's pretty good because getting all these bronze crappy bugs was just really annoying. Scrap metal starts at gold. Undid that as well. Cooldown to 510. Yellow mantis, the haste one. Cooldown 765. That makes sense. 5 seconds is not that big of a deal. It's still really slow. Let's see, Pygmalion. Booby trap. Fix issue with the tooltip. Cool. Close sign starts at diamond. I don't even know what that does. Crystal bonsai. Fix an issue. Okay. Ice cream truck added property. That kind of makes sense. I thought it should have had it. Globe, turbo, icy, heavy, enchantment rework. That's the one where it increased their duration in your hand, right? Like, that's really broken. So glad they undid that. Ledger, fixed an issue with shiny. Pawn shop, shiny no longer gives health from stash. That's what that did? Oh, that could explain something because I played a pig that had 22,000 health and he didn't have anything out that increased max health, and none of his perks would have done it. But he had 22,000 health, so maybe he had a shiny pawn shop. That makes sense. Rice baller, enchantments, normalized ones, multicast potential. Good. I want to see what the numbers look like, but that's good. Showcase, correcting an issue where sometimes this item would not count as being used for triggers. Yeah, I didn't think they would hit anything real from pig, but kind of hoped they would hit dog at least. But they didn't. Mac, blank slate, corrected an issue. Seller no longer passes enchantments. Okay. Fungal spores, enchantments, rework. Okay. Oh, invulnerability potion. I specifically mentioned this one because I got domed for 400 by 1 on day 1. Starts at silver. Well, at least it won't happen on day 1 anymore. Ammo 1, 2, 3. Cooldown to 7. Okay. You take no damage for 1 second instead of 2. Removed the first time you fall below health. Okay. That's good at least. Potion distillery. Added property. Makes sense. Shrinking potion cooldown to 6 was 4. Good. It's way too fast. Pendulum changed to 1 second. Good. They changed it to start diamond. I was like, why are you still leaving it at 2 seconds? And then I got rolled by Mac in literally 3 seconds. So that's it. Well, they didn't get rid of orbital polisher, but they did get rid of the hammer part of it, so that's good at least. Overall, I think this patch is okay. You know, it's not bad. It's a good starting off point. I don't like this change. They changed 3 large items to be silver anyways, so it would just mean that you get the silver items and you can hunt for them a little earlier. So I think they should undo this change. Everything else I kind of agree with. Some things I would have gone a little further with, some things a little less so, but we'll have to see how it shakes out. So yeah, do YouTube stuff if you want, or don't. You know, whatever you're into. You don't gotta listen to me. And I'll see you all eventually.